Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another n.r.b crafts video. So today, as you see, we are going to be making some resin notebooks using these notebook molds, and I did get these on Amazon. They came in a pack of 3, so this is the largest size. This is an A5, and then it has 2 smaller mold sets. Well, it's not a set, it just has one cover, but I bought 2 so that I can make the 2 covers of the notebook at the same time, so for the front and the back. I think there are some molds that have the set. So in that first clip, you just saw me applying a little bit of UV resin because I wanted to do little wispies. And this is just UV resin with some alcohol ink, and I am spreading it onto the uncured resin first so that I can get the little wisp effects that I was going for. And I am just using a toothpick for that and kind of just spreading it out. There are probably different ways to do it, but I didn't want to overdo it because I was gonna put some glitter down before I put the whole shebang together. So after I finish putting this, I am just going to cure it with my UV light. And now I am using some UV resin, and I mixed some gold glitter to this. And I am just going to start drizzling it all over my notebook. And I am just going to keep drizzling it all over the notebook just until I am happy with it. And I do cross over to the other mold just so that everything can be uniform in the notebook. I'm just kind of weird like that. I like everything to kind of flow together. If you would like to do it differently for the front and the back, it's your choice. And here I am going in with a different color of glitter and repeating the same step just by drizzling that resin and the glitter on both covers. And once I finish this, I am also going to cure it with the UV resin. I did use UV resin for the glitters and those little wispies. For this part, I did about, I want to say 100 milliliters, probably a little bit more. Since I was resining some cups, I mixed a bigger batch, so I wasn't able to accurately measure how much glitter or resin I was using to apply this black glitter. So for this part, I am just going to start applying the resin where the little holes are for the notebook. As you can see, there's like these little silicone dot type things sticking up, which is where you're gonna put your notebook attachments to create your notebook. And I am just going to repeat it. I have found that this is the easiest way for me so that I won't necessarily overlap the resin on those little silicone pieces, because if you accidentally do that, it's a little harder for me anyways, because I have done that before, to make the hole correctly, or sometimes I would use like way too much resin and I would accidentally cover it. And if you have the right tools, obviously it's gonna be a lot easier. But even like with the drill bit, I had issues. That was just my experience. If you would like to give it a shot, go ahead. So after that, I'm just going to apply that leftover resin on both of these covers. And again, guys, I kind of messed up. So I do have to apologize. I forgot to film one of the steps. So after I put this resin with the glitter, I went back in and I mixed some more resin and I put some black dispersion colors just to so I wouldn't have my notebook completely see-through, because I wanted mostly those glitters to stand out. So before I unmolded my notebook pieces from those molds, I did go in with the resin with the black dispersion colors. You could also add acrylic paint to your resin if you want a darker background, or you could just leave it like this with the glitters. It was just something that I chose to do. So yeah, just make sure that you are getting every single little area covered on your notebook. Otherwise, it would end up kind of lopsided. Also, you want to make sure you are working on a flat, leveled surface, because if you don't, then when you go to pour your resin, it'll like spill out of your mold, because they're not too thick. So if you do end up like putting a lot of resin in these molds, it will spill out. But other than that, this is pretty much it. After this cured, I did leave it 24 hours for it to completely cure before I unmolded it. And obviously, like once you finish pouring your resin, you could go in with some 91% alcohol or higher to pop any bubbles that you may have, that or could rise up, and get rid of those before moving on to your next step. So here I am just going to show you the finished notebook. This is the side where I mentioned that I had put the dispersion colors into the resin, so that's why it's a lot darker. And here is one of the covers. As you can see, that little white alcohol ink did create the wisps that I was going for. So after this, we're just going to clean up the notebook and assemble the pieces together. So for this particular notebook, I did not put any like vinyl work into it, so no decal, no nothing. I just left it like this. You are more than welcome to add a decal. I did think about adding a decal or drawing something onto the covers, but I just couldn't make up my mind, so I just left them like this. So after I unmolded these, I took a little tool, and I don't know what this tool is called, but I have seen a lot of people use it when they work with resin. So I just took this. It is kind of like a little knife, and it swivels around. I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. But you just take that and just kind of slide it or glide it over the edge. You do want to be careful because, like I said, it's like a little knife. So you do want to be careful with handling it. As you can see, my pieces here were a little hard to get out. And what I do like about this tool is that in those little holes, it fits perfectly. So I was able to clean out the holes with the same tool with any leftover resin that could have like gone on top and cured into the piece. And there you can see me just kind of going in a little circle with that tool. And it's really neat because it does swivel, so it doesn't require a lot of like hand movement. It's just you going in a circle. So yes, after I did this, I just put my notebook together. All right, so For this, for putting it together, you do just want to choose what side you want to be the cover before you assemble it, just to make sure. You can flip it over, you know, just it, it'll save you a little bit of a hassle once you go to put it together. So to put it together, you will want these little, they're like binder rings that are put together. You can find these on Amazon. There isn't as many color choices as you would think for these, but you could also use like regular binder clips, but that makes your notebook very unstable. Um, you could use buy some lined paper that has those holes pre-punched into them, or you could also purchase a hole punch to create your own notebook paper, or if you would like to turn it into like a sketchbook and you have some extra sketchbook paper lying around, you could also use that hole punch to punch the holes into it and just add it into your notebook. So for the most part, this is all you have to do for the resin notebook, which in my case was pretty easy. This is the hole punch that I was talking about. As you can see, it has those 6 little holes just to pre-punch your paper or whatever you need to put into it. And this is just a close-up of the notebook. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you Saturday with a brand new video. Thank you.